Hey, this is Jamie at Useful Knowledge. So yesterday I rendered lard and I canned it, just like I've done for many, many years. So if you'll stay tuned, I'll show you how easy it is to do it. Okay, to render and can lard, first of all, you're going to need about 5 pounds of fresh pork fatback. You're going to need a sharp knife to cut that up. You're going to need a large pot. This is a 6-quart pot. You're going to need some mason jars. You're going to need 10 to 12 8-ounce jelly jars, or you can use larger jars such as pint jars, which you would need about 5 to 6 pint jars. And finally, you're going to need a smaller pot. This is a 3-quart pot. You need a ladle, you need a strainer, and you need cheesecloth for the straining. Okay, to render lard, what I like to do is purchase at least 5 pounds of fresh fatback. Make sure it's fresh fatback, not the salted fatback. I went to the local butcher here and I've got about 5 3/4 pounds. I'm going to show you how I cut it up and how I render lard. Okay, now what I do is get any meat off of this fatback. So all this right here I'm going to trim off. What we're going to do now, we're going to cube it up. And so what I like to do is cut it up in about maybe a little bit bigger than 1-inch cubes, and then we're going to put it in the pot and render it. You don't have to be perfect on how you cube this up. Just a note, why I take the meat off of there is because I think it helps make a whiter looking lard once this is all done. Okay, I've got my cut up lard in my 6-quart pot, and I've got a 3-quart saucepan here and a ladle. Now as this lard renders down, I'm going to be pulling the melted rendered lard out and putting it in this 3-quart saucepan. Okay, all we need to do now is turn it on. So I'm going to put this on a medium low. Now your cooktop may be a little different, so as this starts rendering down, you may have to make adjustments. I'll probably have to make adjustments as well. Okay, I can hear some sizzling going on down in here. My pot's gotten hot. It's been about probably 5 minutes. What I'm going to do is stir this up just a little bit, and we're going to put a lid on it. And we're going to check it in about another 5 minutes. Okay, it's been another 5 minutes. We're starting to get some sizzle in there. Oh yeah, we're starting to get some at the bottom. We'll cover it back up. Check it in another 5. Okay, let's see how it's working out. Oh yeah, we're starting to get rendered down now. This is a slow process, but if you'll just be patient with it, you'll have some nice looking lard when you're done. Okay, when I'm rendering lard, what I like to do is take some out as it gets ready. So, and what I use a 6-quart pot, I've got a 3-quart saucepan, and then I've got a strainer. And what I do with that strainer, I actually put some cheesecloth in it, and we're going to strain this lard as it gets ready through the cheesecloth. So we're going to check it now. This has been in about an hour. And obviously, as you can see, a lot of it is ready. So we're going to take and we're going to strain a lot of this through the cheesecloth. Okay, as this starts melting down and rendering, you can take out as much as you want to. The reason I like doing that, I think it makes a cleaner looking, whiter looking lard. If you leave something in there and it cooks for hours, like in a slow cooker, then it's not going to be as white looking, I don't believe. This is what I've always done, and it makes some really nice looking lard. Okay, we're going to let that go back to cooking. Like I said, it's been about an hour. Alright, we're going to check back in another 15 minutes. Alright, we got a lot more rendered down. I'm going to filter that through our cheesecloth as well. Okay, we're going to start checking this about every 5 minutes because it's cooking a lot faster. And I'm on low over here, so we'll check it in another 5 minutes. Okay, we've got a full pot, so I'm going to another pot, and we're about to get down to where we're about to run out of lard. Probably get a couple more runs out of that. You know, when we started, this pot was practically full of fatback that was cut up, and now we're down to the very end. What I'm going to do is get the last bit of this out, and we're going to go ahead and can this lard. And yeah, a lot of people love these cracklings. They get left over for making lard. Alright, so I'm going to turn this off. We're going to get 12 jars in the oven because we have about 3 quarts of rendered lard. We're going to heat it up to 250 degrees and we're going to can it. Okay, I've rendered out about 3 quarts of lard, and what I'm doing here is I'm restraining it through a new cut of cheesecloth. This is just to make sure nothing got by the cheesecloth when we strained it the first time. Okay, while this is warming up, we want to take a small pot of water. We're going to turn that on just a low, and we're going to put 12 jelly jar lids in it. These are mason jar lids. We're going to warm those up. And like I said, that just has to be on like a low to medium low. We just want that water warm. Okay, while this is warming up, you're going to need a candy thermometer to determine if this is 250 degrees. And you're going to need bands, mason jar bands for your jelly jars to go along with your lids in your jars. So we're going to get these set over to the side. We're going to check and see where we're at as far as temperature. Okay, we're about 125. We're not quite there yet. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see that, but we are slightly above 250 degrees. Now just remember, I heated this up on a medium-low slowly. So we're going to go ahead and turn it off and can it. Okay, we've got our lard at 250 degrees. We've got our lids warming back there in the back. Our jars are at 250 degrees. It's time to can it. You're going to bring that right to the bottom of your canning funnel. Maybe a little bit more to get it perfect headspace there. Okay, once we filled these up, we got about 9.5 8-ounce jelly jars of rendered lard. And remember, we started out with 5 3/4 pounds of fatback. So now we're going to finish out the canning process. Okay, what we're going to do first, we're going to go around the top of each jar to make sure there's no lard around the top of each jar that may have gotten spilled. And I'm using a dry cloth for this. This is different than canning jelly. Sometimes when you see me canning jelly, I've got a wet cloth doing this, but I'm using a dry cloth now. And this is just a paper towel. Okay, next we're going to put our lids on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out each one of these. I'm going to dry it with a paper towel, and we're going to get it on each one of these jars. Now you want to dry this really good because you don't want water going down in your lard. Okay, now we're going to put our bands on. Alright, so what you want to do now is you want to tighten each one of these up. Okay? What I usually do is I'll tighten it up while it's down here, and then we're going to turn these over, and they're going to stay turned over for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes is up, we're going to come in and flip them right side up, and then they'll seal. Okay, these have been upside down for about 5 minutes. What we're going to do now is turn them right side up. And if you're not used to this type of thing, these are really still hot. Just a warning there. Okay, We're going to let them cool off. They're going to seal. They'll be ready to go in the pantry. I have kept these in the pantry for up to a year, sometimes even more than a year, without any issues, without any of them going rancid. Okay, now all we're doing is waiting for these to seal. It's going to take them about 30 minutes and you'll start to hear pings where the jars are sealing. The lard will cool down and solidify, and it will turn from this almost yellowish color to a pearly white color like you expect from good lard. Okay, it's the next morning and all of our jars are sealed perfectly, and the lard is just very pretty and just perfectly white as it should be. Okay, the really nice byproduct of making lard, crunchy cracklings. A little salt on these and it's a great little snack. So I hope you gained some useful knowledge on how easy it is to render and can your own lard. Thanks for watching.